Or worse. How's everybody? Welcome back to Comedy or Worse. How's everybody doing out there? All right, we're back. This is Comedy or Worse episode. We'll figure that out later. Um, so we're going to be talking about what's going on in comedy in San Diego, what's going on in our comedy journeys, and I hope everybody. Here we go. Tucker Bailey's going to be. Here we go. Tucker Bailey podcast. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, what's going?
Oh, we're just doing this live now. Every Friday, whether we have a guest or not. So you're the guest, but also you're the special co-host.
All about it. How's it going, everybody?
Yes. So what you got going on this week so far, and what's coming up?
Yeah, so of course I got my own TV show called Pickup and Delivery, and we're actually working on filming our second episode on Instagram.
Nice.
Then on top of that, I also have a show that I'm going to be on later this month at Yellow Door as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Sweet. Yeah. So last night just was at Jazzy Wishbone for that show. Watched the show and was on the open mic. So that was really fun. It's a great place in Oceanside. Everybody should check it out. Tonight I got Comedy or Worse at Quantum Brewing. Yay.
I should be there.
Oh yeah. That's out tonight. And so one topic we talk is besides what our comedy is bring around.
Uh,
Yes, comedy in Diego. So how you look in the comedy now? Comedy standing.
I like the comedy in San Diego. I do. I like the I one thing I love about the comedy in San Diego is I
Is
love. Sorry, Aaron, you were breaking up a little bit.
I'm sorry, don't mean to be breaking up.
Wait till I get you.
Just go ahead and continue what you were talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I love the comedy scene in San Diego. I really do. I love the comedy scene in San Diego, and I love like how big the community is in the comedy scene in San Diego. Like that's one thing I got immediately is like how like tight the community is. Like everybody kind of knows everybody in a good way. Um, and one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, I want like one big component about I feel like Aaron of like getting into the comedy scene in San Diego and just understanding the comedy scene is barking. Like I wanted to, what are like your thoughts on like barking as like a person who runs a show, does comedy, things like that?
Yeah, barking is really important, and I would kind of loop in promoting the show on over social media.
Mm,
That's kind of like that thing. That is one of the things I'm a little bit disappointed with comedians. Like they expect the promoter just to do all the work,
hmm
and what they don't understand is they have a lot of fans that are lurkers. You know, that if you just promoted the show and made it easy, because like right now I have simple RSVP link for either signing up for the open mic or getting, a donation. It's, comedyorworse.com/QB. That's how you can sign up the RSVP, either to be on the open mic or for the show for tonight. And I'm trying to get the features to just share the post, and on especially like Instagram, where you can include links. And I even made a video about it. Like, this is how you do it,
Mm.
and not everybody's doing it. So it's like it literally takes 2 minutes to do, or a minute if you once you know how to do it.
No, I
Um,
get that.
yeah, some shows are hard to bark for. Like Quan Brewing's a little bit hard to bark for because it's not like downtown San Diego, but you can
Yeah.
still do it. We still got flyers. But barking also, I consider crowd work. You want to get better at crowd work? It starts with barking.
Good point.
Just
Good
talk to
point.
people like
Yeah.
you're a normal person. You're a comedian. You want them to go to the show. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes
Good point.
people get turned off by the barking, and then they go, "Wait, what?" You know what I mean?
No,
What
no,
are your
that's
thoughts?
I think that's like an excellent point. Like I didn't because like when you're barking, you really like with crowd work, you have to know how crowd work is all you controlling the room, right? As a comedian.
Yeah,
So in a sense, like really good barkers know how to control the moment or control like the environment. Like good barkers are like basically like walking salesmen. Like they're telling you like, hey, like you look like you're looking for something free to do tonight. Hey, you look like you enjoy comedy. And they are basically getting you invested in going to the show. Like we have some
right,
comedians that are really good barkers where, they won't just take like a quick note. They'll be like, hey, are you sure? Or hey, we have this and this. You know what I'm saying? They won't be so easy to like fall to defeat, right? And I think
right,
your analogy with like crowd work is kind of like the same thing. Like crowd work, you have to take that leap of faith where you just have to be yourself and be okay with being yourself and being vulnerable like that when it comes to
right.
interacting with a stranger. So I definitely can
It's
see like the
yeah,
analogy. Yeah.
yeah. I just thought of something else, and it's not only crowd work, but it's possible that you could. It's starting to build a fan,
Yeah.
because if you bark, I mean, you're successful, and
hmm
they come to the open mic or the show or whatever, and then they see you perform, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy, Tucker, he's pretty cool and he's funny, and like so it's just really crazy that I think the good bad thing about San Diego right now is there's so much stage time for comedians. They're almost getting lazy. They're expected to just be given everything, and they don't understand how much work that running a show is. And
Yeah.
some people complain about how much time they're getting, or their order in the list, or whatever. And it's like, okay, you do it. You see how easy it is. I mean, that's another thing why I try to like give opportunities for people to host is, the host has some say, uh, at least on the open mic, with the order of the list. So you think you can please everybody? Come host.
Yeah.
Come host. Then, yeah, three of your best buds are going to show up at the same time. Who do you put first?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's so
You're going
true.
to piss off the other two,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so true. And been there or like I've had scenarios where like the show looks like there's a lot more time than you thought in the show, so you give some
Yeah,
people a little bit more time, then all of a sudden like that catches up to you, and then other people want the same amount of time. Like it
right.
really like you really like when it comes to hosting, you really are like a conductor in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, there's hosts that do a good job about keeping the energy up,
Yeah.
and making it a good show, but sometimes they err on the side of making the whole show about them. And even if the crowd is having a good time, you got to remember, you don't piss off all the other comedians.
No.
Like, oh my God, there's hosts that like, you know, aren't reading the room, and like sometimes you need to just like get the next comedian up, because there's people that are like, unfortunately, they're not all people are going to like you, or they're gonna like, in between switching comedians is a great time to like get up and leave. But if you can like turn over that room and go, okay, this next one, and then they have a chance to like
Take off
convince
on your
them to
energy.
stay,
Yeah.
so
No, no, yeah, like yeah, he meant well. I remember this one time I was seeing this one host that he just wasn't reading the room, and he couldn't understand that like the crowd clearly wanted to go to the next comedian, and the comedian themselves was also waiting to get on stage. So, and he had been just telling jokes all night. So he had been telling long jokes in between sets all night. Yeah. So like, but I think that, but again, that was a great example of like he just couldn't read the room. I think that's what it was. He just wasn't reading the room because even the crowd were like, "Hey, the guy's right there. Can we just go right to the next comedian?" Like he was like, I like when I host, I try to well, one, of course, reading the room, right? So like, if I feel like I need to pick the energy back up, or if I feel like I need to tell a joke that might carry that energy over to the next comedian, right?
right,
But my typical thing is I will do a quick one-liner. Like if anything, if I do say a
right,
joke, I'll try to do a quick one-liner, get a good laugh, keep that energy up, move on to the next comedian. That's usually my goal. I rarely go into like really big jokes. I usually try to stick to like a quick one-liner. And I think a lot of people do that where it's like a one-liner or like a one-liner that's connected to the previous comedian or an observation in the room, and then they'll go over right to the next comedian.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so, have you been watching or listening to any comedy podcasts lately?
I have not. Do you have any good recommendations, Aaron?
I keep going back to Pete Holmes. You made it weird. Yeah, that's a really good one. And then there's so many other ones that's like I can't even keep up on them. Just like any of the top comedy podcasts,
There's so many.
they're just like so funny. You just sample them, try it, and then be like, you're either gonna like it and wanna do it, or like you can just like look at, say, oh, I really like this comedian, and this comedian was on this other podcast, so then you would like watch, or tune into that episode, and then um see if you like them or not. Also, Conan's really good. um been catching up with Conan. So but it just depends on what style you
What
like,
do you
and
like?
yes, you know yeah. um
And there hasn't, one thing, there hasn't been like I think in my opinion, Aaron, there hasn't been like a really good comedy movie in a long time.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
what's the last good comedy movie?
That really stuck out to me. Mm, I think the last, well, I mean, Bottoms. Bottoms was really good. That was really good, smart comedy. I don't know if you ever saw Bottoms. Bottoms was really funny. That was really
Oh,
funny. Um, uh, let's see. Bottoms, Booksmart. Um, I feel like I'm missing one.
I just watched Is This Thing On? And it's like about a guy that does comedy, but it wasn't really comedy that much. It's, oh, okay. But It was still a good. Um, I guess that's a different category. But that's movies that outcome. But yeah,
I feel like I've heard about that movie before.
no. What'd you hear?
Well, because this is the one with I forgot what the actor's name is in it. He's really funny. I forgot what his name is though. Um, he was in Arrested Development, right?
No.
Yeah. Because like a lot, I don't know. It's like 50-50. There's like some comedians that are like, we don't need like a biopic, and there's some comedians that are praising it.
Yeah.
But you liked it, Aaron?
Yeah, I liked it. It's worth watching. It's more than just about comedy, you know. Comedy, though. It's just good. Multiple layers. I've seen Maine. Fun. The P. Holmes is series. He's on HBO. I feel like I almost have the name. It's on the brain. I'm forgetting. Uh, I just look up. It was good. I feel like I did somehow. Um, what can Netflix right now? What do you got? HBO.
Um,
We have access to
uh,
stuff.
I don't know. You know what's weird, Aaron?
Yeah,
Like I,
just about.
this is a good
You
question for you. Like I have Netflix, I have
know,
HBO, I have Peacock,
HBO. So
and I'll be
yeah,
honest with you, I keep going back to like the free streamings. Like I don't really watch the ones I'm actually paying for. That I don't really watch them that much, which is a problem.
you gotta cancel them.
Yeah, I gotta cancel them.
Cancel. That's the beauty of how everything is set up. It used to be cable. It was so hard to like. Right. You know, every time you try to like, you get off the
Oh, I
phone
do.
and you read more.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was like a
Was
whole
that?
process to cancel
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and then we can't give you such an insane deal. You'd be like, okay, no, I'm paying less, but now I don't cancel within the amount of time I'm playing so much more. I'm getting even started with. Yeah, that's crazy. So now you just go on the thing, just like unsubscribe, and it's maybe it'll
Yeah.
make you quick up a couple times. Like, are you sure it'll do an offer or whatever? Yeah,
Well,
you know, but
you,
it's really simple to like it'll choose to get sure.
well, you know,
What's that?
I actually read I read somewhere that I read
Something
somewhere
I still have
that
to take it
they
on.
what they'll do is they'll hide some places will hide the um
Unsubscribe.
yeah, they'll hide the unsubscribe button. They'll hide the unsubscribe button
Yeah,
so you can't see the unsubscribe button.
yeah, yeah. That's not cool. Yeah, that's not really good in the long run because people get annoyed and they'll
Yeah.
unsubscribe and not resubscribe again ever again. You know, how do you feel about doing comedy about the real world, like current events?
See, you know what? I don't dabble too hard on that. Um
Yeah,
I do feel like there's like a time and a I think I feel like there's a time and a place, but I also feel like it comes down to just your style of comedy. Like I think when I was like going over like my style of comedy, I didn't think going too political too often really fit me, you know. Even like obviously I look up to Dave Chappelle like really big, but even like Dave Chappelle is way more direct on how he speaks about politics now than he was back in the day. He would talk about politics, but in a very indirect way back in
Right.
the day. Um, I think even George Carlin, same thing. Even Richard Pryor, same thing. Um, so I feel like for me, like I don't know. I guess I'm kind of tipping my toes in the water of comedy. I have yet to, which I think is like a really good litmus test, but I have yet to use the T word in a joke. So I've yet to bring up Trump in a joke. I've yet to have a Trump joke or even use Trump in
Right.
any type of punchline, whatever, in a joke. I think a really good, like a really honestly, like a really interesting period that I think as both of us as comedians, I think that was the Charlie Kirk situation. That was really as a starter comedian. Um,
Yeah.
that was really interesting to watch because with that it really was like you not only saw what comedians that were gonna you not only saw what comedians were actually gonna touch that, but you saw how. Like each
Right.
comedian, now obviously some comedians more like explicit and aggressive, right? And then some comedians finding honestly like creative ways just to tap it in just relatable ways, and then we move on. Like, but there was like this weird. I remember it too. So I was at Madhouse. Like, I think I went to Madhouse maybe like the day after or 2 days after, and there was this weird, like almost silent period. And we in like Aaron in the world, like in the world of comedy, we know people that they have no cares. So it was kind of weird when it comes to that one topic where I've heard topics in because comedy is creativity. I've heard so many different arrangement of topics talked about in so many different ways. It was so weird for like 2 days to like hear just silence on a clear topic that everyone knows about.
Right.
Silence. Yeah, it was really. It was, but then after those 2 days, the silence. I think I won't put the person on blast, but there was one comedian that he was the first one to shatter the ice, at least at Madhouse, and he went in he went in hard. He was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna shatter it now. Like we're all not talking about this. We're just gonna talk about it, But it
Right.
was really weird though to just see that those 2 days of just no jokes, no jokes at all. No jokes at all on Charlie Kirk or anything. Just 2 days
Right.
of
Right.
yeah.
Well, I was talking to people off the sidelines, and it was like, I'm like, it's possible that the shooter could have been watching the thing live and shot him right when he said what he said on purpose. Like
Yeah.
people forget about technology, man. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they're crouched down and trying to hide, and you got really good earbuds, and you know like light travels. It's not the speed of sound, right? Because it was the speed of light by delayed by a little bit because of the going over the internet and such, but you could know what the person's talking about live on the stage, because of social media and technology. So
Yeah, no,
it,
it's funny you say that too, is because I was just watching. Well, it's all over the internet now, but I was watching the Jay Z interview, and Jay Z brought up the same thing that he was talking about, like the Kendrick Drake whole thing, and he was talking about it. And he was talking about how he really doesn't know if like rap battling is really needed right now. And he said that, or
right,
actually, I think a good way he put it is like he doesn't know if rap battling is helpful towards the rap community right now because the internet is so open and so active that you can't just have like you can't just have a back and forth. There has to be that
yeah,
next level of like almost kind of like ruining people's lives in a way. Um,
mhm.
You know, it can't just be about, it can't be like a schoolyard thing where it's like, oh, I talked about your mom, you talked about my mom. No, it's like people are actually like finding out who your mom is and letting them know. You know,
Yeah,
right?
like
It's that
doxing
next
people.
level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
that's the
crazy
problem
though.
too. Like play fights can turn into real fights.
Yeah.
Even if you're just messing around with people, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
That's why like the roast battle. I think we have to have a certain maturity. To like understand it's all in good fun. All the jokes, should be thought about ahead of time. Because there's jokes I could write about people and try to do it on roast battle. I'm like, and you write it, and like, oh no, I can't go there. I'm not gonna. Let's scrap that one. I mean, I'm not a mean and malicious person, so it's not like a lot of those jokes. It's just occasionally I think it's no. I'm just being frustrated that I can't come up with something. And I can't go that mean or that dark.
Yeah, yeah. It's like understanding your boundaries. But I think that like comes back to I think that comes back to what I was talking about before is like knowing it's almost like you got to know your brand, you know? Like I think sometimes
Right.
when we censor ourselves in comedy, it's not so much of like I don't want to go too far. It's like what fits with your brand, you know? Like if it
Yeah.
you know if it doesn't fit, and I've seen comedians that they've had like a certain brand, and then they're like experimenting with maybe jokes that are more like sexually explicit or more race focused jokes, and it doesn't fit the rest of their set. It just seems
Right.
yeah, and even if you were to go there, there's like intonation, timing, all those things are key. So it's like you have to understand your brand. Like me, I'm trying to build myself as a comedian as more of a storyteller. Like as you can tell, like one of my best jokes is that deluxe pizza joke, and that's just one big story. So I really like telling story type jokes and then having like fun punchlines in the jokes. So with me knowing that, I understand that like when it comes if I am going to go into a topic of like sex, race, politics, drugs or anything like that, I kind of want to respect my brand and then see okay, if I'm going to talk about sex, I want to what's a good story that I can talk about sex in to still make sense with my brand. You know, like I don't want to tell a quick
Yeah.
sex pun and then that doesn't make sense with the rest of my set.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, that's you stay. Say a bunch like clean and hit something dirty. So but that's all part of that's all. I for me. But I'm not a friend.
No, I agree.
Me,
I agree. I actually 2 nights ago I had a comedian that's a good
but
friend
I'm
of
not
mine.
going to do something too. Does that make sense?
No, so it totally makes sense because I was
Yeah.
a comedian that's a good friend of mine. He was trying out. He was trying out. He's trying out more like dirtier material. I think he's trying to seem more
Yeah.
relatable, but it's just like it just again with like his whole set is very like quirky, clean jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like really minimal to no cuss words. So when he said this super sexualized joke, it just came out of nowhere for the audience. Like, like I know like when it comes
Right.
to writing jokes, the whole point is, you send the audience left and then take them right, right? So you set the premise and then you do the punchline, which takes them in a completely different direction. But again,
Right.
like if you gotta have some inklings to that build up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. I don't know.
Right.
It's
I
just like
mean,
it's.
that's the part of Tucker is I there's jokes where like I'm trying, as I say, or I'm say something for shock value, but if you really, if you over the fact that I shocked you and to really listen to the words I'm saying, you know, I don't know if you heard my joke where I did it last night and it went pretty well. I say the problem with these hoes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then it's, you know, I don't want to explain my joke, but it's taking a whole other turn that fits my brand and
Yep.
it's believable,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, he's not really saying it, and you know, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say too much more than explain my own joke. It's for people's. I say the joke is for other people to interpret it, and hopefully they're getting the other meaning. But
Yeah.
the point is, I was saying to that joke in a in the front trailer of trailer park. They didn't have it in the back. It was the front trailer at the time because the other room was being used, and I got a bad reaction from the crowd, and then they helped me realize how how it was sound, or maybe it was a similar joke like that, and then I on the fly was able to like say it in a better way, and that helped me make
Bring the crowd
shape
back.
and write the joke. Yeah, I was able to win them back, but that was like, you know, because if you're in the moment and you're really reading and responding, it's gonna help. Sometimes it's gonna be helpful to you because it's not just those people in the moment. The general audience, you know, or audiences over and over is gonna have similar problems with what you're doing. Is audience, you know. So I try to make my jokes up to a point as you know, like compromise my art. You know what I mean? So it's a balance between the art changes. You know, the presentation and what I want to talk about changes based off how people are reacting to it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Completely makes sense. I remember. Oh man, what's like? Because I have experienced that so many damn times. I haven't even been doing comedy that long. That's how typical it is. Like trying to think of a really good experience of um man. I told actually, well, I won't get into the actual details of the joke, but I had one joke I was working on, and I tried it at Madhouse one time, and the joke involved food and sex. I'll just leave it at that. And with the joke, I just, the way I initially wrote the joke it was too much. It was too cold. Like the crowd immediately disconnected from the joke. As soon as I said like the first line of the joke, they immediately disconnected. And one of the comedians pulled me aside after my set, and they were like, analogies. And I was like, what? And they're like, analogies. Analogies are always key. You didn't use any analogies. And that was really helpful for me because sometimes, not always, sometimes more explicit or difficult topics are easier for people to digest when you use creative ways within your joke to tell them, and that kind of,
Thing me think of is yes, oh no, just to right this on a t-shirt so they can there's jokes there should be a curtain being to it's like, oh, there's better as a sketch, you know, she write them it's a good thing cartoon and then it's actually then what was the second thing I lost the second thing. So we're talking about, say again what we're saying.
Oh, we were talking about uh understanding that sometimes with jokes, like usage of tools when it comes to jokes, intonation, analogies,
Right.
timing, can sometimes
Oh,
make
okay, yeah.
certain
And then the other thing is that's why we have sci-fi and fantasy, right? Stories is because if you and use it, you're now you're asking, oh, this is the here and now. This is some future or some fantasy. But you're telling, you're hitting on your real human topics with that. With that, so that's really interesting. And then that goes back to trying to talk about real world topics. I have tried to like say, you know, oh, I can't, like one joke I had is like, oh, I can't wait till we have the Holy Wars on Mars, you know, and a way to like talk about the Middle East without talking about it. Just how silly I think the whole thing is,
yeah,
because it doesn't pick sides, It just says, hey, what do we should stop this. You know that there are wars that have ended. There's been wars that have been going on for thousands of years, but then both sides were exhausted, or had the one generation woke up and said, no, we're not going to keep fighting our ancestors' wars. We got to forgive each other, and they've stopped, or they've wiped each other out.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that's lost to history. Luckily, it didn't destroy the whole human population, but those people both sides just killed each other. So,
yeah.
yep, yep. All right. Someone did try to join earlier, but I didn't see it right away, and then they decided against it and left. But that's okay. But if anybody does ever want to get on the podcast, if you see the podcast going live, just request to join, and we can see if we know who you are. If we know you, especially if you're a comedian, then there's a chance that we'll get you on the podcast. And if you want to schedule it ahead of time, you can email comedywars@gmail.com. Get you on the list. You can pick a time slot. Right now, I just have Fridays. From one. The time period is from 1 to 3. It's not like we're going to go till 3 o'clock today, this afternoon. So anything interesting going on in your life besides comedy and your projects?
No, that's pretty much my focus right now. How about you?
Oh, moved to Encinitas, liking that.
Nice.
Yeah, working more. Yeah, so I guess that interferes with the fun things I want to do. But I'm making some money, so I put it all back into comedy. Or I'm trying to like focus on making my life more enjoyable, you know,
hmm
not just blowing all my money on stuff that I think I want, and then turns out, oh wait, I don't really need or want that. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah. No, I get you on that. Like actually, one of the things I'm trying to do now is like actually like instead of just spending money on pickup and delivery, actually trying to have like a solid budget, like more of like a bigger understanding of like return on investment kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where I have a clear understanding like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're spending money to do this, props, paying cast members, like how I feel like I need to have a better understanding of how money's coming in and coming out instead of just putting money in.
You got profits already from what you're doing? Not profits, but money coming in?
No, just well for right now the only profits I have coming in or especially consistently, is going to be from doing stand up shows with Tucker Bailey.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, yeah, that's not easy. Um, yeah, a lot of money, a lot of donations, tips. It's putting it right back into ads and a little bit of speaking of which, that reminds me that I have Comic of the Night coming back at Quantum Brewing, but now it's Comics of the Night.
Oh,
And it could be more than one, and then instead of a $20 prize, the minimum would be $20. Um, so do good.
I'll be
Get
there.
people to come. Get people to come and get people to donate. I'm not going to take it out of my wallet. It's going to be coming out of tips. We've got to cover first the expenses. The ads cost money every day, every week, every month, whatever you want to divide it. So once that, but I think it's making enough money that at least one person will win $20 every week, and then
I think
based
that's
on based on how much extra came in, if another $20 comes in, or another $10, maybe second place will win $10. You know, so talk about you know uh, collecting money in any way you can.
And then
Um,
Aaron, what's the requirements, by the way, to like what do you look for the comedians to win?
if you go to comedywars.com/QB, you can get all the details. But generally, there's secret judges, and it's first of all, be funny. Um, that's absolutely number. They're not all number, but promote the show. Even if nobody comes because of you, try to get people to come. Not just promoting the show, but have the link. I'm telling you, if you look at people that share stories and they all have the link and then those repost my story, and then when you click on it, all it does is take them to my profile. So that means they got to go to my profile and then they got to click on my story to get to the link. It's so easy just to make from the post, make a story, add a sticker that's called link, put the link in there, and then someone can click on the story and go right to the ticket. You know, I
Agreed.
mean, for something like if you're promoting a show, then you say you have you do like a story where that story has a link to the main the episode on YouTube or something?
You mean in my posts?
Yeah, the post.
Yeah.
What's the main way you want people to watch Pickup and Delivery? On Instagram, on YouTube?
Yeah, so what originally we were actually spread out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And then what we're doing now is we're trying a new model where we're just condensing to one platform, which is just Instagram.
Oh,
Um, yeah, because I think what we were doing before is that we were we were expanding before we actually built our audience. Like, and so what we're doing now is we're trying to build our audience on one platform, and once we build that audience on one platform, then carry it to another platform and to another platform, rather than putting ourselves on several platforms without really truly having an audience first.
okay. Well, I would look into things that you can post once and have it go up multiple places at the same time,
Hmm.
because that's what I do. So if it so the reason to not post it in a bunch of places is it's taking time away from you, right?
Yeah.
So if you have like I use Patty Post, so one time cost I mean they have monthly things too, but I go. I can get from one post, one video, and 8 different platforms. It goes to my YouTube. If it's a short video, YouTube is now just making it a short. If it's a longer video, it'll be a longer thing. And then you can just go onto YouTube and make it part of a playlist or whatever. It goes on Instagram, on both my accounts, TikTok, both my accounts, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, 2 different Blue Skies. I think that's 8 things. I think I named them all. And it does this from one video, and one, type up what you want to say, do a few hashtags. People are still doing like multiple hashtags. Instagram said that they're
Hashtag something.
only the first 3 you put in really are working. So people got to keep up with that kind of stuff too. So I still see like 7 hashtags. It's like, unless that's for other platforms that are still accepting multiple hashtags, as I don't understand why people are doing that. You know.
Same. I actually, a lot of people are saying like hashtags are not really as like efficient as they were before.
Yeah, it's I think people were getting tired, and the platforms were getting sick of like people putting so many hashtags, and it's like it just diluted the value.
Mm-hmm. Definitely diluted the value. I completely agree.
Really, in my estimation, there shouldn't be any hashtag that like explore your page and stuff like that. Those they they should just get rid of those um because people don't trust that hashtag after a while, or I don't know.
That's true.
So I don't know. It's just hashtag. I thought it was like to say what it is, to get to, you want to grow your audience, but also it should be relevant to what it is. Don't put hashtag comedy unless it's A, funny, or B, talking about comedy.
Yeah.
Like people are just like put hashtags and it's like, wait a minute. I watched the whole thing. It had nothing to do with what the hashtag was. That's, but if it's a general thing like for your page or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's that even mean? Who came up with that?
Yeah, I think For Your Page has definitely just become a trendy thing everyone's putting on their videos.
I would be interested to just know like how that started, why that started. Is that just a trend of people trying to figure out how to reach more people?
Basically.
You know, how to circumvent the algorithm? Um, Here's the thing that people don't really think about or talk about. Before there was social media, if you wanted to talk to your friend, you would call or text them, right?
Yep.
Well, if you want to know what your friend is doing on social media, search their name. Look at just their profile. You can beat the algorithm, like you can just have chats with your buddies and your different groups. You have different ones. You don't have to just follow the algorithm. Um, and also you can search topics that you're interested in. And a lot of times people should be using the internet to connect with people in real life. You know, use the internet to see what's going on and then go to that place. Go see live comedy. If you like comedy, don't just scroll on Reels or TikTok. Like, go see live comedy, make connections, enjoy your life.
I think it's key, making connections.
And it's kind of funny to me that there's groups of people that would say, that would see live bands and go and be really happy and excited to see them make it and be like, oh, I knew that band when they were small and they played at my local dive bar. But you can do that with comedians too. Go to the local shows, go to the open mics, see these up and coming comedians that are funny. Like we're getting laughs. You know, it might not be ready for a special yet, but if you're interested in seeing how comedy is made, you should come. Well, maybe we should end the podcast. You're yawning and drifting off.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, I had
It's
all
all
the
good.
yeah.
Yeah. But anything else you want to talk about?
I had something for your last point. I totally forgot it. But no, but I think it's the key thing though is like I think even when it comes to marketing your comedy too, is always make sure you show the experience.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Like always make sure you show the experience, show how people are reacting to you as a comedian as an experience. That honestly, that for right now, I'm changing how I'm posting my stand up, and I'm always trying to. When I'm posting my stand up, I'm always trying to make it seem like it was an experience. Like I'll watch my stand up shorts and I'll be like, okay, do I feel like I created an experience if I post this? If I don't, then I typically won't post it.
Right. Yeah. And then for the comedians, that you should be archiving the flyers to the shows that you're promoting.
Hmm.
Archive them and post the pictures and you know of the audience having a good time.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? You just have a bunch of flyers for
Yeah.
shows that are over? Like,
Yeah.
what does that prove? What does that show? They can't go to that show anymore.
No.
Show how much fun the people had at your show.
Yeah.
So simple things. I mean, yeah, it takes time, but you know, everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, because I mean that's the ticket in. That's totally like even like I know that there's like a couple um there's a couple like restaurants and like venues that are trying to work on building up their open mic, but I think the key thing they have to always do is they have to establish themselves first as the spot to go see comedy. Like you have to be able to show people that you like in the market, not only do you provide an experience, but then you provide an experience that's slightly doesn't have to be this big difference, but you provide an experience that's slightly different than a nice guy.
Sure. Well, I mean, every comedy show is going to be different, right? Even if we had the same comics on every week, each show is going to be slightly different. Because the audience different, the people are in a different mood. Um, you know, of that show, the 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 fire trucks didn't go by that night. You know, like so many things can be something to like be in the moment and make a comment about and you know you're never going to capture that again, but that's okay because that's life.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the best comedians know how to use that. How to use. I'm still working on that myself as a comedian. Is like not only reading the room, but being able to use the room. Even
Oh,
yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I was at Madhouse and someone like forgot as they were working sound, they forgot to turn off the sound for me. And I first I thought to myself like man, like why didn't I take that moment, that awkward moment, and it turn into a joke somewhere? Like that would have been like a really funny way, like something like, oh man, they want me off stage. I'm bombing so bad that they're already, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're already playing my cue music, you know.
yeah, I totally get it. Um, yeah. Also, though, say that you do not address it right away, and then you think about it in the moment, and you're like, oh, is it too late to say something? I don't think it's too late. You could just be like, you know, oh wait, do you guys hear something? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so don't be afraid to think it's too late to address it. Um, and as long as it's still going on, obviously, you know, if you don't want to, that also is a good reason. I know it's hard for comedians to like be in the room and watch other comedians,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you've seen their jokes a million times. But it's about being in the moment, reading, you know, the people that do good being in the moment, they know what happened during the show. They know not to ask the front row for the fifth time if they're a couple.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, no,
Be in the
no.
moment. Get the show on time. Watch the show.
Yeah, can I give you an example?
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
I did I did an open mic at Madhouse this one time, and there was this basically like this brother and sister that got mistaken for a couple, and that was like the running joke, right?
Yeah.
That was like the running joke that, oh, like they look like a couple because they don't look like brother and sister, but they're brother and sister. They're basically like step bro, step sister essentially, right?
Um,
And it's a joke, but again, even with callbacks and stuff like that, timing is key. So again, you don't want to beat a dead horse, right? So it's like every comedian that was coming up, and it's a Madhouse, so every 3 minutes, right? Every comedian that was coming up, they kept looking. Every comedian spotted them because they were sitting in the front and went right to them and was making a couple jokes. And it got to the point where the audience didn't want to hear any more about them and was
yeah.
like, they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to go to their brother. Oh my, oh, actually, oh man. Because I know we're probably gonna be wrapping up. Aaron, can I tell one more joke that actually happened at your show?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just wrapping up because I saw you yawning and dozing off.
Oh yeah, no, I had a long day today, but
Yeah.
I had another the same experience at your show. Was there was there was there was a dad, and there was a dad and his daughter that were sitting in the front of the bar,
Yeah.
and this comedian was outside the whole time, had no idea the relationship between them, right?
Right.
But in the previous couple of sets, we already established that because the dad looked really young. So in the previous
Right.
sets, as a crowd, we already established that they are father and daughter.
Yeah.
And the comedian that was just hanging outside the whole time, he comes in and he does crowd work, and he immediately goes in on them, like basically like talking like I'm not gonna go into the joke, but really goes in with really graphic jokes about their relationship, like almost like he's like a sugar daddy or something like that. And someone and
Yeah.
it literally like, and everyone was just like, who's gonna tell him? Like
Right.
and like I was sitting up there and I was just like, that's your dad. Like,
Right.
because like it went on way too long. Like everyone was just like looking
Yeah.
around, like it was funny too because like he he wasn't like he was telling good jokes, but the context wasn't right because the crowd already
Right.
knew that they were that's a father and a daughter. So he was
Yeah.
telling good jokes if they were in a relationship, but obviously the context doesn't match. So like he was sitting there, he kept going and he kept telling jokes in that same context, and he kept wondering why his punchlines weren't killing. Like it was just silence,
Hmm.
and that's why I eventually just like yelled out like, "That's her dad!" And then immediately, but he got a pop. out of that. So like it actually helped
Yeah,
his
well,
set.
you got the pop, really.
Yeah, I guess technically I got the pop, but he either way it was an alley oop because he took that pop and he used it to like, which is
Well, there
just
you go.
yeah, being a great comedian. He took that pop and his mistake and then he made it his bit. So he
That's good.
immediately adjusted his bit and basically was like, oh well, I'm a dumbass, and then basically like went with that whole narrative throughout his whole bit. But it was just this weird. It was this weird awkward time where like he told at least like three or four jokes, and because he was doing crowd
Yeah,
work, he was doing crowd work and he was roasting them,
yeah,
and
exactly.
he just couldn't understand why it was just silence, and no one,
Yeah,
bartender included, everyone was just like, who's going to tell him? Like,
right. That I feel like what it made me think of also when comedians go up there and go, "Who's a comic?" Like, what?
yeah,
You should know who's a comic and who's not a comic.
yeah, yeah,
Why do you need to address it? Why do you need to divide the room? Why don't you have the real people in the audience, the non-comics, be surprised where by the end of the night, wait a minute, everybody else went up on stage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like so frustrating. It's not helpful. Like it's not like we have like a million out of town comics that are hiding in the audience.
No, no, no. Most of the time, you walk in there and you can. Again, the San Diego community is really, really, really tight. So it's like most of the time when you walk into an open mic, if you're bouncing from place to place, even Lestats, you know where you know everyone that's in there.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, that
Yeah,
would be a really weird question to say at Stats. Who's a comic? It's a mixed mic.
yeah, yeah,
Who's here to perform? I've even heard people say, "Who's here to perform?" It's like, what does it matter?
yeah,
People are doing comedy and music and poetry. Just go up there and try to entertain us.
yeah. I will say, because I actually talking about, because I actually want to work on my bit tonight for your show. Um,
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe next week, Aaron. Maybe our I'll let you pick the topic. But if you want to, we should definitely talk about or I would like to talk about performing in front of a room full of performing in front of a room full of comedians in comparison to performing in front of a room of non-comedians, because I feel like that's two different things. I feel like
Well, the thing that blows my mind is I've had comedians from LA and see the San Diego comedy scene that we get real audience members for our open mics and then going, oh no, I don't like that. I like to perform only in front of comics. And I was like, wait,
what?
what? Yeah, it's so weird. They're like, oh, you're able to like, I don't even, it's like even hard to explain their reasoning.
I mean,
It's like,
I get, that was the whole. I mean, if I'm correct, that was the whole reasoning why I thought maybe next week we talk about this, because like it's harder to perform in front of a room full of comedians, just like you said earlier, because one, they've seen your set 1,000 times, and then two, they're like, and I'm assuming this comedian that said this, they are critics. So if you can get a room of comedians to laugh, that's almost like a bigger achievement than like maybe like a warm room
right,
or
but how are you gonna ever transition to talking about real stuff,
yeah,
making a connection?
yeah,
If you can tell the same really connect with the audience about your real life and and yeah, you're gonna change change it up based off on the audience reaction and stuff. But if you're just doing that in front of comedians all the time, like how are you ever gonna get good at that? Like I don't,
no, that's true, that's true.
you
I
know.
get no, I get your
And,
point, because it's
and then
like
the other thing is that I there was a time where when at the beginning of comedy where it just was over and over. I was performing just in front of comedians at the Madhouse, and then I was like, oh, okay, these jokes are working. And then I went to ACC, American Comedy Company, and I
not
did it
working.
for a big room, and I got my first like, whoa, and I was like, oh fuck, I went too far. I actually shock the audience. They didn't know what to think of it. I was doing, like I did like you know how like a series of your mom jokes. I did like I did one like your dad joke,
Hmm.
and it was somewhere along the line, oh, your dad just wasn't there or something. But it just did it in a way of like, oh, and I was like, whoa, I went too far. I went too dark.
Yeah.
Okay. And I analyzed it. I was like, oh yeah, I came up with that joke because I was just performing in front of the comedians, and I had to shock the comedians to get them to laugh. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've been there too. I've been there. It's to me, it's like one of the doing comedy. It's like one of the biggest pains in the ass, honestly, because you can like, man, I've had one time where literally I went from like, I went from, I did one joke and I did one joke and I think I did it at Lestat. Then I did the joke. Oh, no. No, okay, no. I had one joke that I did at Lestat's and killed, and then did the joke at Madhouse, dead. and
Right.
then and then I've had times where I've done one joke in three different places, and one place killed, another place didn't kill, another place killed. So it, it's almost. I was telling someone the other day, it's almost like you're taking data on your jokes to like I got this little Wayne joke I'm working on right now that I might try tonight at your show. That I'm literally, if I try it tonight at your show, I'm literally going to record and then basically just see where my pops are. Like, where does the joke feel a little dry? Where does it not flow good enough? Where do people seem confused? And then compare it to when I performed at Madhouse
Right.
and same thing. So and just keep building off the joke. Because I think also that's another thing I'm going to get better at is not just abandoning jokes, like really taking the joke and then keep building the joke, keep working on the joke. Like the concept's
Right.
there, don't give up on the concept, just keep revising the joke. 'Cause I have a lot of jokes in the joke graveyard that I've just been like, oh, okay, next one, you know what I'm saying? But I think I need to, now that I'm into like my first year of comedy, I need to do more of like actually not just sending jokes to the joke graveyard, but actually getting them to that point where they are good jokes.
Yeah. Absolutely. You just have to think of it like I would stop calling it a drink junk, uh, you know, joke graveyard and just think of, oh, I'm going to set this joke aside, and then you
Like
can always
workshop.
bring it back. Yeah, you put the joke in storage, and then sometimes and you'll come up with another joke, and wait a minute, that's close to this other joke, and then you can like bring that joke in to tie into a new joke you just did.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, no, and that's actually, and that's honestly, that's exactly what I'm working on. But I do want to. I think I am going to go work on some jokes.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being the first person to do comedy or worse live over Instagram. Uh-oh, it's loading. This is the problem about technical difficulties. All right. Well, I'm not sure if it's on his end or my end, but we're gonna end this live. But thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.